I think it would be fair to say that as structural engineers, we have one of the most exciting jobs out there. Being able to design structures that other people can use to achieve their goals is an amazing thing. It's also a great honor when someone puts their trust in us to design something for them. And then when everything comes together and the structure is built and used just as we planned, well, there's really nothing quite like it. But with all of the cool things about being a structural engineer, I think there are two things that we always have to keep at the front of our minds. The first is safety and the second is ethics. Now in this video we're going to focus on ethics because without a shadow of a doubt, if we don't follow ethical procedures, then people will die. And I want to put that into context for you. So stick around because I think this is going to be a good one. Hi. If you're new here, welcome to Estructuro TV, a channel created by a licensed professional engineer. On this channel I share tips and tricks to help you be better at your job, or school, and in life. In today's video we're talking about ethics and why we should care. But before we get into that, why not show your support by hitting that like button? Now what do I mean when I say that if we don't follow ethical procedures, then people will die? Well, let's imagine that we're working as structural engineers on a large commercial office building. We've got a client who wants an iconic skyscraper in the heart of a capital city. The architect has drawn up some stunning plans and we're responsible for turning those plans into reality. It's a big project and there's a lot of money to be made here and everyone wants this project to go ahead. But now let's introduce a little bit of drama. During construction, a key member of the structural team leaves to work elsewhere and they take their calculations with them. This is where the ethical questions start to arise. Do we spend time checking what they've done? If so, how much time do we spend checking their work? Can we rely on the work that they've done without checking it? These are tough questions to answer. And if we get them wrong, the consequences could be catastrophic. Imagine that we decide to check a small sample of the drawings and calculations. We might feel confident that everything is okay. But if we get unlucky and choose to check the very elements that are flawed, then we might find major problems. And if we don't have time to fix these before construction continues, then we could end up with a building that isn't stable enough to stand upright. Imagine for a moment what would happen in that case. You've seen this kind of footage many times on TV and in movies. Maybe you've even seen it in real life. When you see that sort of thing happening, it looks terrifying. In these kinds of situations, the human cost is immense. Families are torn apart, dreams are shattered, entire communities are changed forever. And when you start to realize that you played a part in that, well, it doesn't bear thinking about. That is why we need to follow strict ethical guidelines. As engineers, we have a duty of care to the people who will use our structures and to the people nearby who might be affected by its failure. But unfortunately, stories like this aren't rare. They happen every year across the world. Or how about the Hyatt Regency walkway collapse in Kansas City in 1981? This disaster killed 7 people and injured more than 200. Again, an investigation was carried out and once again, the report was extremely critical. It turned out that several engineers and contractors had ignored warning signs about the structure's stability in order to meet deadlines and stay on budget. So what can we learn from these tragedies? Well, firstly, we need to remember that as engineers, we're not just designing structures, we're designing for people. We're redesigning for the people who will use the structures and for the people who live and work nearby. We need to consider their safety above all else. Secondly, we need to never cut corners. No matter how much pressure we're under, no matter how tight the deadline, we must always do our best to produce safe and reliable designs. Thirdly, we need to speak up if we see something that could be dangerous. If we see something that could lead to disaster, then we must speak up. We must not be afraid to speak up. But how do we know what is the right thing to do? Well, that's where engineering ethics comes in. Engineering ethics is about knowing what is right and doing what is right. It's about making decisions that protect the safety and welfare of people. It's also about being honest, trustworthy, and accountable. Engineering ethics is essential to everything we do as engineers. Without it, we cannot design safe structures. Without it, we cannot protect the public. Without it, we cannot fulfill our duties to our clients and our employers. And yet, engineering ethics is often overlooked. It's often seen as a set of rules that we have to follow. but we don't really understand why. Well, that's why this video is important. It's time to change that. It's time to show that engineering ethics is not just a set of rules, it's a way of life. So if you're a student, remember that the lessons you're learning now will save lives in the future. If you're a recent graduate, remember that the decisions you make now will affect people for years to come. If you're an experienced engineer, remember that you have the power to shape the future of our profession. Engineering ethics is not just a set of rules, it's a way of life. And it's up to us to make sure that we uphold it at all times. Engineering ethics is essential to everything we do as engineers. Without it, we cannot design safe structures. Without it, we cannot protect the public. Without it, we cannot fulfill our duties to our clients and our employers. And yet, engineering ethics is often overlooked. It's often seen as a set of rules that we have to follow, but we don't really understand why. Well, that's why this video is important. It's time to change that. It's time to show that engineering ethics is not just a set of rules. It's a way of life. Let me ask you a question. What is the point of being an engineer if we can't make the world a better place? Being a structural engineer means being able to create structures that will stand the test of time. It means being able to design buildings and bridges and other structures that will be used by thousands of people every day. It means being able to create structures that are safe and sustainable and beautiful. But in order to do this, we need to be ethical. We need to make sure that we're always doing what is right. We need to make sure that we're always putting safety first. We need to make sure that we're always being honest and transparent. If we don't do this, then we're not just letting ourselves down. We're letting down the people who use our structures and the people who live and work nearby. So what can you do to be more ethical as a structural engineer? Well, firstly, you can educate yourself about engineering ethics. Make sure you understand the principles and values that underpin our profession. Secondly, you can be a role model for ethics in your workplace. Lead by example and make sure your actions always reflect the values of your profession. Thirdly, you can mentor and coach others in your organization. Help them to understand the importance of ethics and how to apply it in their work. By following these 3 steps, you can help to create a culture of ethics in your workplace. You can help to make sure that ethics is not just a set of rules, but a way of life. So remember, as structural engineers, we have the power to change the world for the better. We have the ability to create structures that will stand the test of time. But in order to do this, we need to be ethical. We need to be honest, trustworthy and accountable. Thank you for watching and until next time, take care.